Hey you! When man was created, he was given two things: beer and conspiracy theories. And if you looked at the title of this video, you know which one we're talking about today. Now, conspiracy theories have been around forever, and to prove it, I'm just gonna list off some of the really big ones to get blacklisted and demonetized as fast as possible. We've got Bush did 9/11, we've got Pizzagate, we've got celebrity replacement theory, we've got the moon landing, lizards in the government, Zendaya and that black hat. There's just so many. If there's a big event, somebody probably has a conspiracy for it, which, to be completely honest, is not surprising at all, right? If I were a smart, upstanding citizen who paid attention to today's media, I would also think that Bush did 9/11. But there's a stranger side to these conspiracy theories. You may hear people refer to these theories as schizo posting, basically saying if you believe in this, you are insane and schizophrenic, which is kind of an insult to schizophrenic people. Now, unfortunately for me, ever since making the Starseeds video, you know, the weird people that believed they were actually from the stars and were made of stardust, I have been flooded with very weird, similar conspiracy theory TikTok accounts, and I just kind of wanted to show them to you guys because if I had to suffer through it, so do you. Now, to be more specific, I have been getting flooded with posts about Agartha and how I've reached Agartha talk, and a lot of it's just, I don't know how to describe it, so I'm just gonna show it to you.
I'm at a strange place.
So what you're seeing here is unfortunately a sick fucking edit of people discovering or like seeing Agartha for the first time. Now, before we go further, I want to give a quick disclaimer. This ideology and a lot of what we're going to be talking about is very rooted in white supremacy. I am in no way supporting any of this stuff. I just saw a few of these edits, had no idea what it was, and kind of went down a rabbit hole researching it. But seriously, this is one of the weirder conspiracy theories I've seen, and honestly, if you genuinely believe in some of this stuff, I don't know, man. You need to get help. Now, what is Agartha, you may ask? Well, there's actually a lot to unpack there, so I'm gonna call on my good friend, Professor Prisk, to help us. Hey, it's me, Professor Prisk. I'm not gonna pretend to be an expert on this topic, but I'm gonna give you as best of a rundown as I can. So basically, Agartha in its original state is a legendary kingdom, rumored to be located on the inner surface of the Earth, kind of like that movie with The Rock, right? It coincides very heavily with the Hollow Earth theory, another theory that easily could have gone on this list. Anyways, Agartha is a very popular idea in esotericism and occultism, which is like the people that believe in weird, spooky shit and gods and stuff, right? But according to the god of all sources, Wikipedia, it was first introduced by Louis Jacoliot in his book Les Filles de Dieu, which translates to the Sons of God. I tried finding more info on this book online. I genuinely could not find anything other than where to buy it, so I'm not going off of a lot here. But it's kind of spooky stuff, man. It's like they're trying to hide the truth from us. They're trying to hide it from us. In this book, he details how he was given access to ancient manuscripts that revealed 15,000 years of Indian history, right? And now you may be wondering, hey Prisk, if it's based on Indian folklore, how is this a white supremacist movement? I don't really know, man. just keep watching the video. Supposedly this manuscript showed him Agartha, which is an ancient city, the capital of India actually, before it was destroyed in 5000 BC. He details that the city was ruled by the Brahmatma, who were the manifestations of God. Now, fortunately for me, I can't read French, so I kind of just have to go off the word of people online, but basically the bulk of this book is talking about the rise and fall of Agartha. And now, if you noticed, we start to see inklings of the connection to white supremacy with the name Agartha, which sounds like Asgard, right? Like the Norse place. Thor from Marvel, that place, the Norse guys. It's all coming together like a conspiracy theory. Holy shit. Anyways, later on, a French dude named Alexander Saint-Yves d'Alvedre, who, as far as I can tell, does not have any ties to Yves Saint Laurent, but they're French, so they're probably all evil and all connected. He wrote a book called Mission de Inde in Europe, discussing Agartha. This is the most popular version of Agartha, and the one that all of these memes are pretty loosely based off of. He details in this book how he had mastered astral projection, you know, the idea of sending your soul out to go searching around the earth. And he had studied this with a guy named Haji Sharif, who had introduced him to the concept of Agartha. Also, according to these articles, Haji Sharif claimed he was a high official of the Hindu church, but he actually just like owned a parrot shop. That's kind of funny. Or at least that's what he wanted us to think. Alexandra says he visited Agartha through astral projection, and it was insane, right? Nothing he had ever seen before. This was the coolest place on Earth. And he actually also mentioned, unlike the original book, that it still exists underground right now. It didn't get destroyed in 5000 BC. It's still down there, right? It had moved down underground during the beginning of the Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga is one of the 4 yugas in Hinduism, which is kind of like a time period. Think like the Dark Ages, but for India instead of Europe. So yeah, this dude was like, you know that ancient superpowered city in India that everybody thought was destroyed? It actually wasn't. It's just below us now. You just gotta go down a little bit. Anyways, I'm gonna go astral project there if you wanna come hang out. See ya. Which, to be fair, if I could astral project, I'd probably want to check it out. That sounds kind of cool. Now, when he's talking about Agartha, he mentions multiple times millions of people lived in this ancient megacity, right? And you're probably wondering, hey, if there's millions of people down here, how have I never seen any of them? Surely one of them slipped up by now. But these aren't any normal people. These are not any normal people. These are what are known as the Vril people, detailed in the book Vril, The Power of the Coming Race by Edward Bulwer Lytton. Vril can be seen in many of these Agartha talk accounts like The Vril Truth and Vril Loving Chud, which is just an amazing name. But the original concept of the Vril is like this energy essence found all over Agartha, and the people down there are like these angelic beings made out of Vril called the Vrilia. They're also called the Vril. I don't know, they're kind of used interchangeably, so we're just gonna call them Vril. But yeah, they're kind of like the blue people from Avatar, you know? They're just like these superior big beings. Now, the Vril aren't super important now, but they do become important in a little bit. So why is Agartha a white supremacist belief if it's started in India and has these weird energy-based people living underground, right? Well, my friend, like all occult conspiracy theories turned racist ideologies, there's one man you can thank for all of this. It's Hitler. I'm talking about Hitler. Now, it's no secret that Hitler was incredibly obsessed with esotericism and occultism, having whole research branches dedicated to it. One of the ideas that he was most fond of and had his team studied the most was the secret land of Agartha and the Vril people. Now, the way this concept reached Hitler and he started learning about it was because of this group known as the Thule Society, who were massive backers of him. The Thule Society was this secret German society that believed that the Aryan race were actually the Vril people from Agartha, detailed in Edward Bullier's book. So basically, this secret society of Germans were like, yo, this dude likes the Aryans, which we think are the secret underground people in Agartha. We should get him in power so we can get back to Agartha. Also, yeah, as far as I can tell, they did fully believe that Agartha was real and that they were descendants of the Vril people and were trying to get back at any cost. They believed that supposedly you could reach Agartha through these like tunnels throughout the earth. The biggest one being in Antarctica, which is why you see all those like tunnels going into the like secret underground city in all these memes that like flying in. That's the tunnels that they were looking for. A lot of rumors around the time also show that the reason the Nazis were so obsessed with UFOs and finding and building them were that they believed they were the only vehicles capable of getting down to Agartha. They needed a strong vehicle. This belief caused them, and many others still to this day, to believe that any like weird floating object or UFO is not aliens from above, but actually the Agarthans flying around spying on us, which I don't know which one's funnier to me, but I think it might be the Agarthans. This also very nicely ties in the whole Antarctica is closed off because of a secret mega civilization theories that people have, where, you know, it's like hidden from the world because no one can know about it. It's closed off because it's cold. Nobody wants to fucking live there. It's just cold. That's it. It unfortunately has no ties to any of the like ice wall theories of like a secret ice wall that leads to more Earth. Those have nothing to do with each other somehow. People around the world just collectively believe that Antarctica's hiding something. Again, it's just cold, guys. This concept of Vril is pretty closely tied to the black sun symbol, which is another Nazi symbol, so if you see that symbol, kids, run away. But this was like the occult symbol for the Nazis. This is what they used for like their occult branch. It's like a bunch of SS in a circle. I don't fucking know. But there is an etched mosaic tile of it in the Wewelsburg Castle, which was remodeled by Himmler, so it at least did exist and was tied to the occultist variant of the Nazis. But yeah, now due to one man's craziness, instead of Agartha being this ancient Indian super city filled with these weird energy light people, it's a Nazi safe haven filled with Aryans. This is why a lot of these TikTok videos are somebody who's like not white, like somebody who's like black or like Indian or something going, guys, can I get into Agartha? And all the comments are just like incredibly racist. Like, no, dude, why would you even mention that? Or like the eye color meme. I mean, hell, someone even made a diagram of who all gets in depending on what country you're from. I mean, they even used their little soy jacks. How wholesome chungus of them. Jesus Christ. Also, yeah, if you can't tell, these theories were really popular on 4chan. Now, where it starts to get even more convoluted is once we see memes like this one. A lot of people, especially the people making these edits, confuse Agartha with Hyperborea, which is another white ethno-state believed to be guarded by the Norse gods. It's like the white person's Wakanda, but like super duper extra racist. Now, unlike Agartha, Hyperborea actually came from Greek mythology, and it was said to be located so far north that it was beyond the north winds, which is why its Greek name means beyond the north winds. Similarly though, it was rumored to have a legendary race of people known as the Hyperboreans who lived up there and worshipped the sun god Apollo. Now, if you can't guess, the Greeks were talking about Scandinavians here because they were located so far north that the Greeks couldn't really feasibly get to them, / didn't really care enough to get to them. They were too busy with the Middle East. But as they got larger and larger with their Roman times, it got pushed higher and higher into Scandinavia and eventually reached this like unattainable mystical land status like Agartha or Atlantis or Thule or any of those, right? Unfortunately, over 1,000 years and a light sprinkle from Hitler and his weird occultist goons investigating it, it's now used and talked about almost solely as an alt-right dog whistle, with a lot of them claiming that Hyperborea is the origin point of the supreme race of people. Again, are not my words, that's just what they believe in. But this is why depictions of it show this extremely exaggerated Viking town with these giant Norse gods sitting over everyone, right? But yeah, if we go off the Nazis' idea of Agartha, it is very similar to Hyperborea, both extremely racist, just in different locations with different Aryans. Which is kind of odd to me. I don't know how you can believe in both if they both spawned the superior race. Like, clearly one of them would be fake, right? I don't know. I'm not racist enough to really make the distinction, so I don't know. But speaking of racist, there are some topics in here that are like horrendously racist and anti-Semitic, mostly to do with the tie-ins to Nazism. So I'm not going to talk about some of it, but if you can't tell, this is like the textbook definition of a 4chan meme that's like, oh my god, it's ironic, guys. I don't actually believe in this, but look at how funny and based in red pill this meme is. And again, I want to remind you to take a lot of this with a grain of salt because 90% of the posts on TikTok are probably ironic and making fun of the ideas as a whole, but you never know for sure, you know what I mean? Now, there are some definitely ironic posts, like this guy, the Natty Saint. His entire account is just Agartha shit posts. And this one Albanian supremacy video, I don't really know what that one's all about, but okay. But there's a very noticeable feature of him that shows us that this one is definitely ironic. It's because he's black, right? I mean, I feel like that's kind of obvious, right? But anyways, he heralds himself as the guardian of Agartha, and people kind of send him videos asking if they can get in, and he'll be like, no, you don't drink enough raw milk. This one's a personal favorite of mine. Like, you have to be so insanely online to understand this joke, which I think just makes it so much funnier. Like, he just kind of wears a blonde wig and blonde contacts and is like, no one else can get into Agartha, but I've made it. And it's kind of funny to me. Also, I'm really not sure why the raw milk thing is here, other than like the weird fitness people believing that raw milk is superior and like better for you. I've really never understood that one. If you genuinely believe pasteurization is bad for you, please go back to a biology class. Please, I am begging you. Going back to this video, the statue guy on here is really just symbolism. I don't think he has any actual direct ties. People just use him because he looks like a scary white guy. I'm pretty sure he's that one statue or painting of Lucifer. But yeah, if you see this guy, he is Vril. That's what they use as Vril. There's a lot of accounts that are called like Vril posting, and that's their profile picture. So that's what that is. But like these edits just get crazier and crazier as you go down, man. Like this one. Like, he's just taking a droplet of white monster and he drops it down and it's fucking Agartha, you know, it's just in there because it's in all of us. And but they label it as Hyperborea, which doesn't make any sense. Like, you'll start to notice a theme with these is that they're kind of just grabbing anything vaguely like white supremacist and throwing it into one video. Like the white pharaoh from those old textbooks is in here. PewDiePie's in here, which I don't really know why he's in here. Okay, no, I think I know why he's in here. Now, if you look very closely at this guy's profile picture, you might see a familiar face. This is Ashtar Saran, who we very briefly mentioned in the fucking Starseed video. What a crazy callback, you know? It's all coming together now. It's just so funny to me that left-wing propaganda is like, oh, we all live in harmony and we live together and we share all our resources and everybody's happy. And then right-wing propaganda is like, you know, we're actually ancient star people formed out of dust from the air and we live underground and we run the society. It's always some weird secret society shit. Where does that come from? But yeah, Ashtar is this dude who people use as like the symbol of Agartha or like the king, the supreme ruler of it. I don't know. But again, he actually has nothing to do with Agartha theory itself. He just kind of gets thrown in here because he's white and looks vaguely racist in this photo. Now, to be fair, Hitler did also investigate the Starseeds a fair bit, and a lot of the Starseeds ideologies are very rooted in white supremacy, which I wish I had touched on more in that video. Unfortunately, I didn't find out any of that until the day after I posted the video, which kind of sucked, but I guess I got to reconcile it here. Now, why all these edits are suddenly popping up and going viral, I really couldn't tell you. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where people who actually believed in this stuff originally were posting shit about it. You know, the super crazy conspiracy theorists were posting stuff. And then it somehow reached a wider audience of people who saw it and were like, this is so ridiculous and hilarious that it has to be sarcastic, and started making their own posts about it, making fun of it, right? Which then leads to a cycle of more people seeing it, more people starting to make fun of it, and then it starts to get into a loop where nobody knows where it originally came from because everybody's just circling off of each other. The part that makes me so confused about all of this is why the edits are so well done. Like, why is it so well made? I genuinely don't get it. This actually took somebody days or even like weeks to make. Why? Also, if you're wondering about the pyramids connection to all of this, there really isn't one. There isn't a direct connection to the pyramids other than the fact that people believe the Agarthans are behind every major conspiracy theory. This is one of those overarching conspiracy theories where the people that believe in it are just kind of like, yeah, no, all those conspiracy theories were because of the Agarthans. Now, to some of the more seasoned Agarthans, I'm sure you guys think I'm missing somebody important. His name, Yakub. And man, did I not forget him. I wanted to save the best for last. Now, I want to start this off by saying he genuinely has nothing to do with Agartha in any real context. He is a completely different, intense conspiracy, but in a similar vein to Hyperborea, he's just been kind of lumped in with it, which is kind of funny because you'll realize that he is like the antithesis to all of it. But who is Yakub, you may ask? Well, Yakub is a mythical godlike figure from the Nation of Islam, which is a Muslim black supremacist group. According to the Nation of Islam, Yakub is a black Meccan scientist who lived around 6,600 years ago, and get this, he created the white race. Yes, I mean fully created it. He went, you guys exist now. Do you see how that contradicts everything else? Do you see how that like doesn't really make sense when there's like the secret master race of white people living underground? But that's not important because it gets funnier. He created the white race through a form of selective breeding referred to as grafting on the island of Patmos. Patmos is just a generic Greek island. It's not some like mythical land like Agartha is, unfortunately. Kind of dropped the ball there, but yeah, he's just from some Greek island. I don't know. Now, according to the story, Yakub dies at about 150 years old, but that doesn't stop his followers from continuing his process and creating more white people. According to the NOI, the white race was created with an evil nature and were destined to rule over black people for 6,000 years through the practice of tricknology. Okay. But that ended in 1914. But yeah, if you see an image like this, that's who they're referring to. That's Yakub. This is Yakub. My favorite part about Yakub is that he's actually not some sort of like mythical figure from the NOI's like ideology. They fully believe to this day that not only is Yakub a real person who did live and exist and die, modern science actually proves his existence and proves that he created the white race. Now, how Yakub ended up spearheading the memes about getting into the secret white ethno-state, I don't really know, but I'm sure neither side is very happy about it. But before we go any further, I actually found a tutorial on how to get to Agartha made by Yakub himself. So we're gonna take a look at that and see if I can get in.
Fax your bone density scan to Azerbaijan Technology during lunar inversions.
Okay, so first I need to fax my bone density to Azerbaijan Technologies during the first lunar inversion. I mean, like, I don't own a fax machine, but I'm sure this is probably a little outdated and they would take an email, but I mean, I've got my bone density, so that's not like a big deal. I'll just go grab that. But yeah, no, the next lunar inversion isn't until 2034. I don't want to wait that long because I need to post this video. So I'm just gonna send it now, and I'm sure they'll understand.
2. Stand atop a Mongolian phosphate mound and declare your lineage.
Okay, so I was looking into flights to Mongolia. It looks like it's only about $11,000, which honestly is kind of a small price to pay to reach Agartha. So I'm gonna go ahead and book that for next week. So expect no video next week because I'll be in Mongolia. But let's see if there's anything else I can do while I wait, because I'm assuming you don't have to do these in the exact order, you know.
3. Put on Sumerian AirPods and they'll play a 4D audio file of an entrepreneurial animal podcast on full blast.
Okay, so I actually found my Sumerian AirPods over here, but for some reason, whenever I put it in, all it plays is The Box by Roddy Ricch. I don't know why it keeps playing this on loop, but it's just kind of there. I don't know if that means it's working, but we're just gonna keep going.
4. Time travel via Qatar microwaves to a shadow consulate beneath Ashgabat. Negotiate with a shrimp-powered mammoth that communicates via vibes, not logic.
Now, the next step's a little confusing. He said he wants us to use our Qatar microwaves to time travel to the shadow consulate. I don't really know what that means. I don't have any Qatar microwaves, but I do have this picture of me going to the liquor store, and the clerk there said that my vibes are pretty cool, so I think I passed this. Okay, and that's the last step, which, you know, I won't be able to get my passport until I get to Mongolia, but I'll keep you guys updated. Now, the creator of this video, Luca Maxim, actually uses these memes and videos to promote his clothing brand called childrenofkhan.com, so I went to go check it out, and why is it kind of fire? Like, why is some of this shit kind of sweet? Now, I'm not a fan of the AI-generated people, but I'm gonna pass it off as like artistic irony based off of what he's doing, you know? This is all ironic, he's making fun of all of it, right? And don't get me wrong, there's some misses in here. I'm not wearing a fucking goonscaping shirt, but you're lying to me if you look at this shirt and tell me it's not hard. You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of sweet. But really quickly, I also wanted to show another edit that is just insane to me.
I'm at a strange place.
Like, again, it's so well done. And why Terraria? Of all the games to do, why Terraria? And the comments on it are hilarious too. Like, how do you explain to someone this is far-right propaganda? Can you imagine you're scrolling through, you see this really cool Terraria edit, and you send it to your friend, and they're like, hey, by the way, that is rooted in a really, really racist right-wing ideology. Maybe you shouldn't post that. And it's like, I just thought it was Terraria. Like, what the fuck, man? I think somebody in this comment section summed up this whole thing really, really well by saying, by the way, y'all, Vril is basically Aura, but really racist. It's genuinely just the perfect summary. There's obviously a decent chunk of information that I left out of here just for time's sake that wasn't super important, but is still pretty interesting. But yeah, if you think there's anything I missed, just, you know, leave it in the comments. I think this shit is absolutely crazy, and I love seeing stories of insane theories that people believe in, so just let me know. If you liked this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It lets me know that you guys like these kinds of videos and lets me know that I should make more. But with that being said, my name is Prisk, that's Reggie, don't look at him, and I'll see you in Agartha. Wait, no shit, that's still right.